What's going on, everybody? I want to take a second to just have a conversation about the Housewives fandom because I think that we need to talk about the morality of some of the fandom because I think that they've been brainwashed by the network and the lack of accountability that the people in power have when it comes to acknowledging and addressing and dealing with certain moral and personal and discriminatory issues. So can we have a conversation?
I don't do regrets. I'm trying to learn from my lessons, but do I get it yet? I wanna set an example, but I'm not sure I can handle all my demons. I'm thinking that I should court a vet. I fight for all respect. I'm working overtime to keep in my head. I understand I'll get the love when I'm dead, so my focus is red. Choose the black out on what's keeping me chosen. I've been the token, now the back is the head. On my soapbox, chucking.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome and welcome back to Georgia, Carolina, your gated and racism-free community where we personalize culture and entertainment and then curate a conversation that's based on self-discovery and growth. I am your pop culture coordinator of all things inclusion and awareness, Jordan Renee, and I'm happy to have you back for another video. Okay, so a lot of y'all are about to be mad with me, but things have to be said, and I'm usually the one that's brave enough to say them. So here we go. The Housewives fandom is completely fucking toxic, and I have experience with this because I am also a RuPaul's Drag Race fan. Another fandom that is completely toxic. What I mean by that is that fans of the show will ignore blatant issues that are morally corrupt and that are discriminatory. Like, fans will ignore issues just because another franchise doesn't address them or because somebody else didn't say something about it. So why should this person say something about it? I just don't understand why people are so willing to ignore blatant issues that go on within the Housewives zeitgeist and the Housewives cinematic universe, as I like to call it. Why do they ignore issues that are categorically wrong for the sake of having a television show, for the sake of having a fluffy and entertaining television show? Do you get what I'm saying? Prime example, Real Housewives of Dubai. I literally just had a conversation about this, right? And while I can understand there are certain limitations that the government will probably have on them being able to speak about the human rights issues that are going on in that country on the show, Real Housewives of Dubai, I do think that there should be an opportunity for them to be able to speak on it, right? Now, mind you, I was told that Dubai probably wouldn't open the country to filming if there was a chance of exposure, which to me says that they chose the right company as far as Bravo goes to bring television cameras from America into the city. I don't know if there's any other kind of American TV shows filming in Dubai. I don't know. But what I will say is that they struck up a deal with Bravo, in my opinion, to make sure that you don't address certain things, and you can film this show. As long as the show is geared in this direction, blah, 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 then you can have a show. To me, that alleviates some of the reality when it comes to reality television, but excuse me for having an opinion. That I say this, I don't know how comfortable I feel morally being able to watch a television show set in a country where the government limits and silences its citizens to prevent the exposure of human rights issues and discrimination. I don't know how comfortable I feel with that. And, you know, for me, this is just me having a nonchalant approach to TV and having a strong moral standard. Like, at the end of the day, if something goes against my moral beliefs, I just don't watch it. At the end of the day, there are several other Housewives franchises that I can watch. There are several other reality shows. There are several other female ensemble-led casts on television that I can watch where I don't have to subject myself to a show that is triggering. Now, people will quickly misconstrue me saying that as saying that I don't believe that the Real Housewives of Dubai should happen, right? Mind you, if there's an audience for it, make your money. However, I personally do not feel comfortable watching a show that will, one, gloss over these issues, and two, is set in a country that would silence people from acknowledging issues that are affecting people's lives. It's not just something that's offensive. It's not just, oh, we're offending people. This is people being, like, these are lives being affected. Do you get what I'm saying? So it confuses me how we're able to overlook something like that for, like, I literally saw somebody say, well, what makes you think that they would address these issues when they don't when they don't really address the issues here in America? To that I say, don't you think that's a problem? Don't you think that that's a problem? Or maybe the only issues that are coming out of Bravo affect minorities. So the general white public doesn't care enough about the issues because they aren't affected by them. Y'all aren't affected by racism. Y'all aren't affected by xenophobia. Y'all aren't affected by, all of these things. Y'all may get affected by homophobia. You might get affected by transphobia. But at the end of the day, your white privilege allows you the ability to have a level of aloofness and not giving a fuck. So I guess I'm yelling into the void and screaming at people who at the end of the day can choose to not give a fuck and continue to be unaffected by the issues that plague Bravo, plague reality TV, plague a lot, that plague society as a whole. Because all of these things, Bravo, TLC, E, all of these channels, VH1, whoever, all of these people who produce reality television, all they're doing is putting magnifying glasses on the microcosms of America. All you're doing is showing what America looks like in the minute. Or in the macro, depending on which franchise you're talking about. But it's like all you're doing is reflecting the issues that America has as a whole. So if they don't address the issues, don't you think that is an issue? Just because they don't doesn't mean that they shouldn't. And I don't understand how people settle on that explanation as a reason why this is okay, that we just go on and just not talk about it. Why are people's lives so unimportant to reality TV viewers? I want to say specifically Bravo viewers because that's where I see a lot of this happen. But like I said, the RuPaul's Drag Race fandom is equally toxic and equally racist. So it's like, what do you do? Like, how do you interact with a show that genuinely affects your moral compass? Like, I don't understand how somebody who is a recovering drug addict can sit here and watch a television show that makes light and makes fun of drug-related issues. I don't understand how someone could do that. I don't understand how someone who has been through domestic violence could sit and watch a television show that makes light or glosses over or diminishes the importance of the severity of the issue of domestic violence. I don't understand that. Why are we so willing to accept these limited acknowledgments and limited assessments of blatant issues that are affecting not only the country, but affecting the world at large? Like I keep saying, racism is not an American issue. Like, homophobia is not an American issue. Transphobia is not an American issue. I'm just saying, like, these are not issues that are solely connected to America, and these are not solely issues that are connected to minorities. Like, this is the type of shit that Black Lives Matter gets created for. Because being able to just diminish these issues like this, being able to diminish the issue of racism, of human rights issues, of transphobia, of homophobia, of injustice as a whole, of anything that is discriminatory towards another person simply for being themselves. The fact that people are so willing to gloss over these issues for the sake of watching women bicker and argue, to watch women throw shade, to watch women spend their money or other people's money, depending on what show you're watching. It just doesn't make sense. I don't understand how people can compare individual criminal activity with human rights issues and criminalizing individual lifestyles that don't affect people in a negative way. I don't understand how you can compare the human rights issues in Dubai to Jennifer Shaw being indicted on fraud. Yes, both of these things are wrong. That is a common denominator. But however, I would think that people's lives being affected and or taken for simply existing would take precedence over one woman scamming somebody or being a part of a scamming pyramid scheme. Not to say that they both don't need to be addressed. They do. But however, because Bravo doesn't really address the issues of racism, that doesn't mean that they should not have any regard for the issues going on in Dubai. What happened to people using their platforms to bring awareness? What happened to people using their power and their money and their influence to make change? Now, all people are using their privileges for is to throw shade or to self-serve. I don't understand how this is okay. I think that the fandom needs to step outside of the aspect of watching a television show and also realize that this is supposed to be reality. This is supposed to be a reflection of real life. This is supposed to be a reflection of what you see and goes on off camera and off the television screen and outside of these women's lives. What you're seeing is a small, minute version of what's happening outside of your door every single day. The issues that you see talked about or glossed over or whatever on Bravo, these are just minor examples. These are just small examples. These are just individual cases of the bigger picture of what's happening all around you. And I don't think that people are paying attention to that. You have to remember that this is reality television. This is not scripted. If somebody was just writing this and making this up or whatever, blah, 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 then that would be one thing. But these are people's lives that we're sitting here watching. And if the issues can seep into these people's lives as minutely as they do, if it can seep into these women's lives who seemingly are unaffected by anything because they have money, that's the way the fandom seems to act, is because these women have money, they don't have problems. If issues like race and xenophobia and transphobia and homophobia, if it can seep into these women's lives who apparently have all their shit together, who appear to have all their shit together, what makes you think is happening in regular America? What makes you think is happening in the rural and urban communities of those spaces? What do you think that the real people who aren't on these shows are dealing with in reality and not on reality television? I think that the fandoms of reality TV have a major issue with being willing to dismiss discrimination for the sake of entertainment. Let me make sure that I said that clearly. I take great issue with the fact that it appears that the fandoms of reality TV and fans of reality television in the macro will diminish, dismiss, and ignore issues of discrimination on any level for the sake of entertainment. The fact that people are willing to forego acknowledging what is right on a simple human level for the sake of watching a woman throw shade, that warrants questions. That warrants review. That warrants a side eye. That warrants this video. Now, mind you, minority issues are called minority issues for a reason. Maybe the greater fandom of reality TV just doesn't care. And maybe the fandoms of these reality TV shows and these reality TV franchises, maybe these fandoms represent maybe they are a microcosm of the opinions of America and the world at large. Maybe the fandoms of these TV shows are representing what the greater aspect or the greater opinion on these issues are. Maybe culture at large doesn't give a damn about discrimination, doesn't give a damn about racism, doesn't give a damn about xenophobia, does not give a damn about human rights issues, criminalizing lifestyles. Maybe the people just don't care. Doesn't mean I need to accept it. Doesn't mean that I need to stop talking about it, because at the end of the day, representation matters. And even if I don't specifically represent the issue, I will represent somebody who cares enough to want to see change and to make a difference. So I will be a platform to advocate for that representation, even if I'm not specifically the representation of the issues that I speak about. Because once again, I am against all injustice, whether it affects or applies to me or not. I defend all minorities, all oppressed people, regardless of what the oppression is or whether I subject to it or see myself as a victim of it or not. I speak out about the issues. Because, like I keep saying, people who are suffering can only advocate for themselves for so long. The reason why the suffering continues is because nobody listens to someone speak about their own problems. It's not until somebody who they feel like is a worthy enough voice brings attention to that issue that they think, oh, this is a problem. It's not until it becomes personal to you that the issues that are affecting the people who are barking into the void become an issue for you. Notice how celebrities never donate to cancer and the Humane Society and all of these things until somebody in their family gets cancer or it affects them personally, or they never give a damn about donating to AIDS research and all of that until somebody in their family gets HIV. Like, we have to learn to have a perspective of equality and justice on more than just the issues that we see as issues in our own lives. We have to care about more than just ourselves or just the problems that affect us. That's the only way that we're going to get any real movement on any of these issues, is if people who are not specifically subjected to these problems start speaking out too. Your voices matter in these situations too. There is no staying in your own lane. If the person has the correct information, listen to it. If the person is speaking knowledge, listen to it. If what the person is saying is accurate, speak to it. It doesn't matter if a white person is speaking out about racism. If the information that they're saying is correct, then listen. With that being said, thank you guys for visiting Georgia, Carolina. If you like the video, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and do all of the things. I am your pop culture coordinator of all things inclusion and awareness, Jordan Renee, and I'm happy to have you guys back for another video. If you're visiting for the first time, I hope that you take up some permanent real estate and stick around, because we'd love to have you. But until the next one, I'm out of here. Peace.